probably have the one job here that, it'd be great if I went out and worked, right? Unfortunately, I have too much work, but, I'll just give you an example of like community-based work and so forth from the law enforcement perspective. I was recently at a gang violence meeting that we had, and if you'd have seen this room, there are probably 50 police officers in this room, okay? And for the first time ever, they invited the community back, okay? I've been screaming to be in the meetings for years, right? But the old gang, right? It was easier for us to work with than it is today. And I'll say the old gang had a traditional structure, right? They had somebody at the top, somebody underneath, and so on, right? It was a pyramid structure. So we could find out someone that we could go talk to, and we could either, the old professor used to say, be, bug, return, right? We would try to be one, we would try to bug them, and we try to turn, right? Can't do that anymore because the current gang structure has no pyramid. And we have a significant problem in this community. When I'm out in the community talking to folks, they don't want the gangs here. They don't want the violence here. They don't want it, period. The old program that we used to do, we used to walk the streets and we would write code violations to people that let their houses go, let their windows stay broken, let their garage go. Because it's broken windows, right? It's the old, if that's what's happening in the neighborhood, all the crime goes to that spot because they know it's neglected. So they know that they can get in there and no one cares, right? So we would have people come out onto the street and thank us, crying in tears. Thank you for coming. You've driven that crime. Okay. So under that same concept, the old idea was to try to find somebody in that gang to stop the violence. Well, since 2019, we've had 20 killings between these two gangs in this town. Okay. Since 2019, 20 juveniles killed. Okay. We have young people that have committed violence. So our first thought was, let's try to crack down, right? That never works. It hasn't in 100 years. So my thought is, let's talk to the aunties, let's talk to the grandmas, let's try to get in there because you know that those aunties and grandmas don't want that violence. And in fact, they're the only ones with the solution, right? So we're taking the community-based idea is it can only be solved by the community, right? It's empower the people. We're trying to give, at least me, right? I have to say me, because not everybody now, listen, that's part of my job is to institutionalize the change, right? So you have to make it part of the fabric of the office. I had a professor once, I started law school at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And I left there because Notre Dame called. Notre Dame was first year law school. I'm a civil rights attorney. Long story, I can tell you about it. But I got to Notre Dame, white conservative bastion, right? And I said to my criminal law professor, I want to affect change. What's the best thing that I can do in this legal world to do that? He said, become a prosecutor. I basically spit in his face. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's where all the crazy old white conservative dudes go, right? But he said, who do you think controls who gets charged? Right. It's us, right? So, long story short, the only solution is to give the community back the power. Basically, what I'm trying to provide is transparency and access. If I can provide access, the community will solve the problem. It's the lack of access that has basically been an issue, right? So, roundabout answer to your question, the community-based solution is to try to get in and get the relatives and the people that love these people that are committing crime to assist us in talking them out of it, right? I'm not saying we're trying to get in there to get information. We're trying to get in there to stop it. We're not trying to charge extra people. We don't have any space at our detention center. We just, by the way, we just spent what, 40 million or something on a new juvenile justice facility. We transferred the youth, justice impacted youth, 32 of them, right over to the new facility, 32 of them. There's only 8 more beds and then we don't have any space to put them, okay? So we're trying to change that whole idea. Let's not put it in there in the first place, right? If you don't institutionalize, then you can fix the problem. So I can stand up on top of this chair, but long story short, the community is the one with the solution. And I'm trying to change that in our office, that mentality, institutionalize restorative justice, right? I can talk to you about successes that we've had, getting a victim and a justice impacted person together at the table. Some of you probably heard recently, we just had a old lady in a dementia home that was assaulted by the worker that was there. And there were some other crimes that Lorraine while she was there. We just had a restorative justice session with one of the people that was charged with taking some stuff from that person. I mean to tell you, I was in tears the whole time because the victim's family got together with this defendant, the justice impacted individual, and by the end they were hugged. Okay, and we're going to drop the charges, right? Because that's what you're trying to do is heal. You're not trying to. We're not. I think people get it wrong with us, right? We're trying to create a system where we don't have to house people in facilities, right? We're trying to get people back to the community. Okay, so last point, David, for you today. Not only did I write things down on a piece of paper, that's how important this is. I even match my socks with my shirt.
That is absolutely not a roundabout solution that goes to the absolute part of what we're trying to push.